Your 20s are one decade where you can have zero money, zero plan, and a body that still recovers from questionable choices. So today I'm gonna be ranking the ways that people destroy their 20s in a tier list style, where S tier is that this can actually end you, and F tier is, you know what bro, just go outside, relax, have some fun. Let's start with the S tier, the worst of the worst. Number one, I have treating sleep like it's optional. There's this kind of weird badge of honor almost status, where people running on 5 hours of sleep will act like it's a proof of something. Well, let me tell you this, it is not. I mean, you probably know these people, right? They voluntarily tell you,
oh, I only slept like 4 hours last night.
this is not a flex, it is an actual problem. The problem is that sleep is not downtime where nothing happens. It is not waste of time, it is not an option. It is when your brain clears out the junk that is built up during the day. It locks in whatever you actually learned. It is what controls your mood, your appetite. Basically everything that you need to function like a normal person. So if you see that guy bragging again about him getting less sleep than you and acting like it's cool, slap out of him. I mean, you just know it's bad. Listen, if you skip sleep for one night, it's alright. It's not the end of the world. You're gonna be tired. But if you skip sleep like it's a lifestyle for years, you'll not even be getting the benefits of the extra hours, because you're spending half of the hours awake in a foggy state of mind. And I understand that some people argue that successful businessmen and entrepreneurs had many nights with low sleep. I understand that, but I'm just telling you the science. And I also agree with that there is nothing called balance, so you cannot have everything at once. But if you need to compromise on something, if you need to sacrifice something, don't sacrifice your sleep. The second thing that wins in S tier in my book is studying or training to look busy instead of trying to actually get better. And this is one that fools people the longest, because it looks identical to working hard. You see it in the gym constantly. You know, a guy who's been going to the gym for 2 years and posts every single session on Instagram, and somehow he looks exactly the same as he did on day one, because he's doing the same workout, the same weight, the same everything on repeat. And the same exact thing happens when you're studying. If you're rereading your notes for the 4th time, it feels productive because you're sitting there with the book open and the highlighter, but it's not even close as the same skill as being able to pull out the information from your brain. Doing that on demand during an exam requires a different skill. And I've decided to include these two things because they are actually pretty dangerous, because it doesn't feel like failure while it's happening. It feels like effort. You only find out it wasn't real effort when the results don't show up, when you're not seeing results from going to the gym, when you keep getting bad grades after a long time of studying. So try to fix that as early as possible. Number 3, which is also something that included in that S tier, quitting right before it actually starts working. And this one is boring because it's exactly what, most people suffer from. You start eating better, the scale doesn't move as fast as you want it to, so you go back to your old habits. You start a new study system, it feels clunky and difficult, and you switch it up after a couple of attempts. None of these individual decisions feels insane in the moment. It even feels like you're optimizing and finding out what actually works and changing it. But the problem is almost nothing good show up on a timeline that matches how impatient you are. A single time where you are quitting will not ruin your life. You can fail. It is natural to fail. It is normal to fail. Actually, if you're not failing, you're probably not even trying hard. But a decade of quitting right before the results show up is actually problematic. It will cost you years of progress if you let it. So the thing that I have to keep reminding myself is this: it sucks. Hard work sucks. Just be comfortable with the uncomfortable. Just keep the strategy a little bit longer than the average person would, and take it from there. The next thing that gets an automatic S tier is avoiding the hard option as a default setting. And by that I mean that most of the stuff that actually ends up moving the needle starts out by looking annoying at first. The harder workout instead of the easy one. Going to the gym at 6 a.m. instead of telling yourself that I will go later. Studying topics that you are bad at instead of reviewing the one that you've already known. None of that feels good in the moment. Let's move on to the B tier, which is you will survive it, but it is pretty self-sabotaging. Letting your circle's standards become your own ceiling. You don't notice this one happening because nobody in your life is actually a bad influence. They are just comfortable. If nobody's pushing, nobody's asking the annoying question, somewhere in there, your own bar for what count as trying hard, start matching theirs instead of the one you actually wanted for yourself. And this will not destroy your life, but it will make you drift towards whatever level of effort is normal in the room that you're spending the most time in. And if that means that you're in the wrong room, you will never know your actual potential. Now let's move on to the F tier, which is, you know what? Relax, you are fine. I've written down that not having your whole routine figured out yet. It's alright to not have everything in place. You're already watching this video and you're probably watching other videos similar to mine about routines and how to build systems. So you're already there and taking action, which is great. So this was today's video. I tried to sum up some of the most dangerous habits you can have in your 20s and how you can avoid them. Listen, one single time of quitting will not dramatically change your life, but everything adds up. And if those bad habits adds up, you might not end up where you want to be in life. So take action today and see you in the next video. Subscribe.